Now that we have VS Code installed or we have Code Sandbox running in the browser, it's time to get started with our React project. So I'm going to go ahead and drag my exercise files folder over the VS Code icon down here in my doc. This is going to help me find my start file. So we're in 0201 start. And we have here an index.html file. So let's see what we have here. Inside of our index.html file, we have in our head tag of this document a couple different script tags. So I took the first step here of adding some links to the CDN of React. CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. Think of this link as being a way to quickly add the React library to your page in the browser. If you highlight this and you copy and paste it into Chrome, you'll notice that this is giving you the entire React library. So we're just going to reference this when we're writing our code. So we have here React, which is everything we need to get started with React. And then we also have React DOM. So React DOM is everything we need to actually add this React to the page. Think of this link as being a quick way to add the React library to your page in the browser so that all of the functions and features you might need from React are preloaded. Once you add this to the page, you can start to create your first element using React. So, one of the quickest ways of getting this file open in the browser is I'm going to minimize this a little bit. Then I'm going to drag this index HTML. I'm going to use this to add a new tab. It's asking me if I will allow this, and I totally will allow this. So now what I can do is put both of these on the same screen. Perfect. The way that React works is that instead of creating these elements on the HTML page using HTML, we're going to instead create them using React, using JavaScript. So what I'll do is here in the body, I'm going to create a div, and this div will have an ID of root. More often than not, when you're working on a React project, the place where we're going to add our React code is to a div that has this ID. Now, the next thing I'll do is I'll add to this page a script tag, and we're going to say type text slash JavaScript. And then here I'm going to type React DOM dot render. Now, React DOM dot render is one of the most important functions in the React DOM library. It's going to take in two different arguments. The first of the arguments that we'll send to this function is react.createElement, and we're going to use this to create an element to add to the page. Instead of using this h1 here, I want to create the same thing using React. So we'll say h1 is the type of element I want to create. Null is the second argument that we'll pass here because we don't want to pass any properties to this element. And then finally, we want to mimic this h1 fully by writing getting started with React. Perfect. So now check this out. This is our first argument that we're going to send. We're going to follow that with a comma. And then we'll say document.get element by ID root. So to React DOM.render, we're sending two things. The first is the element we want to create. The second is where we want to put this. So we're saying take this element and put it right here inside of this div. So we're going to give that a save. We also need to refresh our page over here, and we'll notice that we're getting two different outputs here. The first is our H1 that we've created with HTML, the second with React. So I'm just going to get rid of our H1. We'll give that another save. So we did it. We've created our first element using React.